What is up, guys? This is going to be part 2 in my 1-down tips build. So today we're going to be talking about the builds and various skill trees. I'm going to run through the skills pretty quickly. I'm only going to talk about the ones that stick out to me the most. And so, yeah, going from there, let's go ahead and jump right in. Alright, in the Mastermind skill tree, looking at the medic, controller, and sharpshooter branches, the things that stick out to me the most in the Mastermind skill tree, of course, you're going to have to pick up Combat Medic Ace in order to progress up the skill trees. I prefer Quick Fix over Painkillers because Painkiller Ace doesn't really do that much. I mean, in theory it could do much, but ultimately it doesn't really do all that much, so I usually just go ahead and get Quick Fix. I usually go ahead and pick up Doctor Bags over First Aid Kits, although some coordination with your team might be required in order to make a decision if you want to bring First Aid Kits. Doctor Bags have a bit more usefulness overall in 1-down, I personally feel like, especially for longer heists, as First Aid Kits will run dry pretty quickly if you're spreading them across the usage of all of your team. I would always recommend at least 2 people on a team bringing Doctor Bags on a 1-down loud heist. And of course I would almost always recommend every player having Inspire for 1-down, just because it makes reviving your teammates so much easier and you don't have to expose yourselves and risk yourself getting downed. In controller, looking at the converted skills, having the 3 skills concerning converteds, all of them aced, is extraordinarily useful. Converteds are super powerful on 1-down. They're able to deal a lot of damage, take a lot of damage, and also pull some enemy attention away from you, which is really nice. So of course I would always, in most of my solo builds, I pick up these skills if I at all possibly can, due to the fact that it's solo and I just really need my converts to pull attention of the enemies away from me, and so they're extremely useful. Stockholm Syndrome aced is pretty good. It allows you to come back from custody once, so long as you have a hostage. I would use this for my solo builds, except I usually don't have the points, and I mean, it's a nice skill, but I personally don't want to use the skill. I feel like my runs are, I mean, I can do the heists without going into custody once, typically, so I usually just don't pick it up. Hostage Taker aced is a nice skill to pick up if you have some extra points to throw around, and you really just want to have a bit of health regen in your build if your perk deck does not allocate that to you. Finally, looking at the sharpshooter tree, this is all centered around single-shot weapons. The things that stick out to me most here are ammo efficiency, for being able to get some ammo back for less ammo-efficient guns, provided that you're accurate enough to get a decent amount of headshots pretty quickly. Also, aggressive reload sticks out to me quite a bit as a pretty good skill, something you might want to pick up if you're using assault rifle or sniper rifle, like a DMR or a sniper rifle, and you need a little bit faster reload if you're using it as your main killing tool. Also, high value target would be might be a good thing to pick up if you're using sniper rifles and you want to kill enemies from afar without having to sacrifice as many bullets. However, this is, of course, has to go into talking about breakpoints, so it might not be totally worthwhile to pick up high value target aced, although it could be handy in certain circumstances. Moving on to Enforcer, if you're going to pick up shotgun skills, I would almost always say it's almost required on 1-down to get Overkill basic, so that you can get deal the amount of damage that you would need in order to effectively use shotguns, and I would say that applies for any shotgun build. Any of the skills below that, they're all useful in their own way. Reloading shotguns faster, dealing more shotgun damage, hit fire while sprinting, rate of fire increased, blah 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 blah. I usually don't get far away because I usually have a secondary weapon that can hit enemies from far away that's not a shotgun. I like getting close by ace to make things like the Yzma a bit more usable, since it increases the magazine size, and so the Yzma goes from having only 7 rounds to having like goes to having 22, which is pretty good. It allows you to actually use it as an auto-fire shotgun without having to reload every 0.5 seconds, which is really nice. Going into the tank, of course you're going to be focusing on this skill tree if you want to run an armor build. Of course, I almost always pick up Resilience aced, and I try to pick up Bullseye basic in order to assist in armor gating, which again I'm going to talk about in more detail later in the future. Transporter aced might be useful if you're running armor, if you have spare points to pick it up. Basic is pretty nice to have because it allows you to throw bags further, obviously. Die Hard, I really don't see why you would use ballistic vests on 1-down unless you're running like a crook build. But like I said in my perk deck video, a crook build might not be super good in 1-down anyway. So, however, the basic version of Die Hard is pretty nice. Shock and Awe Basic is also nice to pick up due to the increased armor recovery rate. And the Ace is good if you're not bringing a weapon specifically designed to deal with shields, or if you don't have a lot of DLC and don't have any weapons that are super good at dealing with shields. It can be helpful to pick that up so you can knock shields over, like with either melee or with gunfire, so you can deal with them a bit more easily. And then, of course, Iron Man increases your total armor and gives you the ICTV, which would, of course, be required if you're trying to do something like an armor or an anarchist build. Now, Ammo Specialist is just as it sounds. 2 of the skills are related to the saw, which I really don't think you would need to pick up for 1 down in any circumstance. Usually a basic saw can get what you need done if you're bringing it in order for, to have utility. Bulletstorm is a nice one to pick up to get further up the tree, and then you can get extra lead aced if your team has issues like keeping up with ammo. So 2 people with doctor bags and somebody with ammo, aced ammo, is usually a pretty good idea. I feel like it is anyway, because it's kind of hard for each individual teammate to run solely off of ammo pickups unless everybody is using very ammo efficient weaponry, which could be aided by having fully loaded aced, allowing you to pick up more ammo from ammo boxes. This is another one of those skills that I wouldn't really say is necessary. However, it can be a nice one to pick up if you're going up and picking, like if you're going through here and you're getting extra ammo anyway, dump 4 more points into Bulletstorm and then pick up fully loaded if you are already getting the extra ammo bags, because this will help you with your ammo anyway. It can also give you some extra throwables, which can be nice. On the Technician, sentry guns had their niche, and they used to be stupid powered when these new skill trees first came out forever ago. However, the big key thing in this skill tree to pay attention to is Jack of all trades. I don't feel like sentries are kind of weaker in comparison to having converts and Mastermind. So I would opt to have converts above sentry turrets simply because the sentry turrets take a lot of ammo and take a lot of skill point investment, and they aren't mobile, whereas the converted cops are. And of course the converted cops scale with difficulty and get stronger in 1 down, whereas the sentry guns do not. Jack of all trades ace is a nice one to pick up if you're wanting to bring 2 deployables. It can be a hefty point investment if you're trying to bring both deployables. So if you're trying to bring, we'll say, ace doctor bags and ace ammo bags, and then you're acing Jack of all trades, you're already down to 84 skill points. It's not terrible, but it can be a hefty point investment. It's still a good skill though, and also being able to deploy and interact with deployables faster, like interact twice as fast, is actually pretty cool. Sometimes I even try to pick that up on my solo builds, just the basics, so I can interact with doctor bags faster, and so I can deploy them faster in case of an emergency. In the Breacher branch, we have a bunch of utility skills, mostly drill skills. Drill skills are, I would say, they're on a heist-to-heist basis. Look at the heist you're doing, see if you're going to absolutely need drill skills or not. On something like Hotline Miami Day 2, I would say drill skills are needed, or they're highly preferable. Whereas on something like, I don't know, like Meltdown, you're not going to place any drills down. Well, no, you'd place drills down on Meltdown, never mind. There are tons of heists so you don't have to use drills, and I can't think of one at the moment, like right off the top of my head. However, they do exist, and there will be heists that you might not need to bring drills. Combat engineering, I don't really ever think there's a purpose to really picking up that skill, to be quite honest with you. More firepower, it's good for the utility of packing shaped charges if that helps you get through some objectives a bit faster. Fire trap, I mean, it's good. It's basically like free Molotovs for people that don't have the barbecue pack DLC. Oppressor, a lot of people will talk about how good body expertise is. It recently got a bit of a nerf, so it's down to 90% of the damage from headshot bonus. However, I would always advocate aiming for the head of enemies anyway and getting full headshot damage as well as from helmet popper, because helmet popper damage is not calculated into 90% from the bonus headshot damage or whatever applied to hitting enemies in the body. So, or at least I'm pretty sure it's not. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. So body expertise is good if you're using fully auto weapons and you really don't feel like aiming. However, it's just simply not going to be as effective as aiming for the head, as far as I'm concerned. It's a good skill, though, if you have enough points to pick it up and you want to use it. Oppressor is very comparable to the Sharpshooter tree. So basically just mirror everything I said for the Sharpshooter tree, for the Oppressor tree, except also, instead of for single-fire weapons, it's for fully auto weapons. Going into Ghost, Shinobi is all stealth skills, so we won't talk about those, because they're all pretty self-explanatory. Artful Dodger, This is where you're going to get extra dodge from things like Sneaky Bastard. I always pick up Shockproof Ace because it's a lot handier to just be able to press the interact key and get off of it and get a taser off of you, as opposed to having to find him and potentially going down. So I almost always try to pick it up for my 1-down builds. Inner Pockets and Parkour are both pretty nice. I like having Parkour aced if I have points to pick it up because it's fun to be able to sprint in any direction. I don't know. I always try to pick up Duck and Cover aced as well to get that extra dodge chance, but that is because I run dodge builds. So, Silent Killer is where we're going to be getting into things dealing with critical hit damages and suppressor skills. Optical Illusions Basic. If everybody on your team has Optical Illusions Basic, it really doesn't affect anybody. So, you can, if you're trying to get up the tree and you're just trying to get to basic low blow or something, you could pick either Professional Basic or Optical Illusions Basic, really just whatever made you feel more comfortable if you wanted to pick up crits. Of course, Specialized Killing can help certain weapons get to certain damage breakpoints by putting the silencers on them. Crits are always nice if you're running low detection builds so that you can get extra hits. Optical Illusions Aced is pretty useful in the fact that it allows guns that normally couldn't reach lower or higher concealment. It allows you to put suppressors on them and increase the concealment, thereby decreasing your overall detection rating. So that's really handy. It can to help you get below certain values so that Low Blow Basic and Sneaky Bastard Basic can work out. So it's a pretty nice skill to pick up. Unseen Strike, I've never used it. I'm not sure if it's still bugged. I know it was bugged once upon a time, but honestly, just reading it, basically you get a lot of extra critical hit chance if you've not been hit for a while, but taking any damage cancels the effect. So as soon as you're shot, your critical hit chance from Unseen Strike goes away, which on 1-down you're going to be getting shot a lot. So it just seems kind of silly to me. I could see it being useful in niche circumstances, and maybe you can make it work pretty well. However, I don't feel personally like it's worth the point investment. You could just pick up Low Blow Basic and have low detection and call it a day. Going into the Fugitive Tree, if you're wanting to use pistols on 1-down, particularly things like high damage pistols like the Bronco or the Desert Eagle, picking up different pistol skills, whatever suits your fancy, is always good. Trigger Happy could be nice, although if you're using higher damage pistols on 1-down, Trigger Happy probably wouldn't be necessary using something like the Bronco. I always like picking up Desperado Ace to get that faster reload, particularly, again, for the Bronco. One-handed talent might help you get past damage break points, but if you're not using something that you can put a suppressor on, it might serve you better just to pick up Specialized Killing, because it'll give you 30% more damage, which might be greater than the 15% you get from one-handed talent. That's if you can put a suppressor on it, though. If you can't, something like the Bronco, one-handed talent might help you bust another breakpoint. I can't remember exactly how much damage is the Bronco sitting at. I always forget. 183, sorry. Gosh, that gets you up to 200. I'm not sure if that passes a breakpoint right off the top of my head. I'll talk about breakpoints in another video as well, because that's something you'll need to know. I'll probably talk about that in my weapons video. Anyway, one-handed talent might help the Bronco hit a damage breakpoint, but again, it's a hefty point investment just to do that, and it'll save you like one bullet. Like having to shoot one bullet into the head of a taser. It might save you that. So, maybe not worth the point investment. Of course, Gun That Ace is pretty nice too for pistols, just increasing the fire rate, lets you put out more pistols faster. Alright, now on the Revenant branch, 9 lives aced, I would say, is an absolute requirement for 1-down. So instead of actually getting 1 down, you would get 2 instead. Up You Go and Running from Death, I usually don't pick them up. I think they'd be nice if I could just have them and just pick them up if I had skill points. I was like, oh, I could put these anywhere I wanted. However, I usually don't aim to pick them up, even though they can be nice. Feign Death is a really handy skill. It can put you in some dire circumstances if you're not ready for Feign Death. So if you have Feign Death, always anticipate getting Feign Death and going up immediately, just in case. You'd never want to be caught with your pants down, going down, and then going, oh, well, now I gotta wait for somebody to revive me, then instantly going up and not being ready to deal with whatever put you down in the first place. Swan Song is another skill I would highly recommend for 1-down. It allows you to position yourself better if you go down before you go down, so that way teammates can have an easier time reviving you. Like I said, put yourself in a better position, and also you'll just kind of be able to wreck face, since you'll have unlimited magazine capacity and unlimited ammo for about 9 seconds. Messiah is a skill that, again, I would recommend. I would say it's required for one down solo play. For team play, probably not required, but it can be a nice skill to have if you want to invest the points in it. Just allow you to get yourself up in tricky situations. It can be pretty clutch. And finally, looking at Brawler, using the combination of Frenzy and Berserker to increase the damage of some of your weapons, or to increase the damage of your weapons. Although it sounds like a good trade-off, if you're not careful with your build and you're sitting on such low health all the time, you'll pretty much just get one shot when your armor's down. So it's something you have to be very conscientious of and have to be very careful about. So that pretty much covers it when we're talking about the skills. So now let's actually talk about a build, like just one build in particular. I'll do kind of a skeleton build. So if you said to me, let's focus on doing a sniper build with the contractor. So the sniper rifle from the John Wick heists, and the micro Uzi. This is one of my favorite builds for one down. So let's go ahead and make a build around that really quickly. So this is going to be used for team play, so I want to pick up Inspire. So I'll go ahead and pick up Dr. Bags and Inspire. Whoops. Okay. And now other necessary skills. I already know I want 9 lives and I want Swan Song, so I'll go ahead and pick those up. I'm going to be running Dodge with this build, so I'm going to go ahead and get up to Sneaky Bastard Basic. Picking up Shockproof Ace along the way, and Duck and Cover Ace. I'm also going to want crits on this build, because crits are always awesome, and I want them for the micro Uzi, so I can tear apart Dozer faceplates and hopefully kill them within a single magazine. Now, looking at my concealment, I'm sitting at 14 concealment, so I'm missing about 3 points of dodge that I could be getting, which isn't too bad, but that would also mean that I'm missing about 9 points of crits, so going from a 30% chance to a 21% chance. We want a higher chance of crits than that, so I have silencers on both of these weapons. I'm going to pick up Optical Illusions Aced, so my detection will now drop to 6, so now I'm getting 54 dodge, and I'll be getting 27% chance for crits, which is much better than the 21%. Okay, so I still have about 48 points. That's not too bad. I'll go ahead and pick up Specialized Killing Ace, because that will allow me to one-shot shields with my Contractor, due to it reaching over the 213 points of damage. I don't remember where the exact breakpoint is to one-shot headshot shields. However, I know that the Contractor with Specialized Killing Ace and with a suppressor on it does allow it to reach that breakpoint. I'll specify more about that in the future with the weapons video. Alright, so I think that's all I need in Ghost. For now, that's all I'll need in Fugitive. I might come back if I need maybe like getting Feign Death. I don't think, we'll say for the particular heist I'm doing, I don't need drill skills, so I'm just going to go ahead and ignore everything in here for right now. Oh, I want to pick up Resilience Ace, and I want to go ahead and pick up Bullseye. Just because those are some of my preferred skills that I always like to have to help with armor gating. So I pretty much have every skill that I absolutely have to have, in my opinion, for one down. I have my Swan Song, 9 lives, got my Inspire, I got my Dodge, got my crits, which is for my weapons in particular, to, synchronize with them a bit. Gosh, so now what do I want? Well, I still have about 32 points. I could probably try to pick up Converts. I should have enough points, and I do. It takes about 22 points to get the best, quote-unquote, the best Converts. I have about 10 points left. If I wanted to, I could pick up Basic Hostage Taker to get a bit of health regen. But before I do, let's look at my options. I have 10 points left. I could pick up Feign Death Aced if I wanted, so I could have a 45% chance to revive myself. But if I'm playing with my teammates, I might want to maybe rely on them a bit, so maybe I won't ace it. I'll keep that in mind. I'll look at some other options real quick, just to, see what availability I have. I don't really care about acing Sneaky Bastard or Low Blow, because at best I'm getting 1 extra point of dodge and 3 extra percentage of crits, so that's really not that helpful. I might pick up, let's see, how much accuracy does my Contractor have? It has 76 accuracy, so that's not super great. So I could consider picking up Stable Shot Aced to have better accuracy while I'm standing still. However, I could also put just 1 point into Steady Grip and get 8 weapon accuracy all the time. I might go ahead and do that, just to beef up my weapon a little bit. What else do I want to pick up? Let's see. I might just go ahead and put the points into Hostage Taker. That way I can have a little bit of health regen coming my way. That's always nice in my opinion. Let's see. What else could I pick up? Don't really care about staggering enemies. Could pick up bag throwing since that's always helpful to have. I could pick up Die Hard. See, with these 5 points, it doesn't really matter where you put them. I'll probably put them in Shock and Awe so I can have faster armor recovery rate, because that's always nice for a bit of extra survivability. Now I'm left with 2 points, so I can just kind of put them wherever I like, and I'll just throw them into Stable Shot, and actually no, not Stable Shot. I'll throw them into Underdog and we'll say Scavenger. Alright, so now that I've made my build, we are ready to start looking at what weapons we're going to use, and I'll do that in my next video. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching.